Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patty in the dining car, ready to seat the 5:30 dinner reservation. Get a reservation dining car. Please wait inside the door to be seated by a member of the staff. 5:30 dinner reservations.
Oh, I'm sorry, it says please mod. I don't understand what that means. Oh, say hi. I never got mod. I don't know what mod is. We're on the Amtrak train. It is. We're traveling from Chicago to Seattle. We have a sleeper car. And in the distance, I don't know if you can see it, there's mountains in the distance, but we are in western central Montana right now. Every once in a while, something I've noticed on this ride, that there's a lot of older cars, like from the 50s and 60s, worn out, parked. You just go by and you see them randomly, like a collection of them, which down in Texas would be extremely valuable for restoring people. And the old school power lines that have those glass insulators. Growing up in Colorado, we'd go find the old, no longer in use power lines, and we would collect those glass, because they're kind of fancy as glass insulators. Some are blue, some are clear. And what's weird is around here is all the telephone poles, the old telephone poles, still have them on them. No one's touched them, and occasionally you see them, the telephone poles have actually been knocked down. They're sitting in a pile on the ground with all the insulators. I mean, they're kind of cool to collect. They're antiques. They're kind of fun little artifacts of the past. But people up here don't even pay attention to that stuff, apparently. But I have seen more than a handful of piles of broken down telephone poles laying in a heap 20 feet from the tracks with all the insulators attached to them, which is weird. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there are mountains in the distance. We're finally getting into it, and they call Montana Big Sky Country. And if you look up, you can see why. The temperature, we stopped a few minutes ago, got out. The temperature was absolutely perfect outside. Conditions were wonderful. I don't know if you can see these little telephone poles going by, but they have the insulators on top that are actually ceramic. That's a newer version. I like the glass ones that are clear and blue, and some are green, but those are ceramic ones. Those are still fairly old. Kind of letting this video stand for itself. It's beautiful out here. Beautiful skies, super high clouds, visibilities. Geez, that mountain range is at least 25 miles away. Low humidity, clean air. Now here's a pile of cars right here going by. Those are from the 80s, one from the 70s. But right along the tracks, for some reason, there's piles of old cars that are people to restore cars. These are they're a find. I know we're moving kind of fast, but they pop up in clumps. I don't know if you can hear it, but this train blows the horn constantly, and it sounds like a distant train. But we're not that far from this. We're just the furthest most passenger car on the train that we actually share. Part of it's for the crew, and the engine's on the other side of this. And we're not that far from the engine, and the train sounds a million miles away for some reason. There was a settler I read about in the 1870s. Yes, number 4.5 Yeah, that was Chicago, the High Plains. This is western Montana. But I was reading a long time ago about one of the settlers that came across the 1860s, 1870s, and the guy had robbed a bank or something, and he had bags of gold coins. And he was coming across Montana, and whatever Indians were up here were attacking the people that were cruising across at the time. He thought he was about to get jumped, so he took all the gold coins, they were in bags, and he stuck them down a gopher hole or a marmot hole or whatever the animal was, and just stuffed them in the hole. And he wanted to be able to find it later, so he found a stick and he jammed it into the ground and to mark it, so standing upright like a 4 foot tall stick. And then he continued on, and the attack he thought was going to materialize never happened. And then it rained, and then he went back and he couldn't find the stick. So somewhere out here, less than 2 feet underground, there's a whole bunch of gold coins somewhere out here in the High Plains. And from what I read, no one ever did find it. So somebody's going to plow it up someday with a tractor or stumble across it somehow. But it was a substantial hoard of stuff he had robbed from somewhere. He was running out west to hide and disappear. Yeah, I'm running this now because it's going to be, it's in this time zone, it's 5:30 right now. It's going to be dark later. I won't be able to do this at night. I'm looking out the windows at night, and out here in the middle of nowhere, it is pitch black. You can't see anything. So it'd be kind of a waste of time. And the phone tries to go into night vision mode and all kinds of crazy stuff. So you can't see out there in the background, but maybe a half mile away there's a settlement, and I can see out in the field there's a bunch of old cars sitting there. Can't tell what they are, but they just wear them out and park them. They don't trade them in, sell them, or scrap them. They just park them. And I've seen a lot of vehicles that if I was in the car shopping mood, I would go say, hey, hold on a second. But we are not on a highway, we're on the railway, so this is near really nothing. Oh, there's a pile. There's a 1960 Chevy right there. Yeah. Another old truck sitting out there abandoned in the field. That was about a 64 or 65 Chevy pickup. Yeah, I'm actually originally from Colorado, so I'm familiar with this terrain up here. I grew up in northern Colorado, but I don't think I've ever been to Montana, to my knowledge, before. But it is beautiful. Big sky country, they're not kidding. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but right there are the mountains. Maybe I'll get my fingerprints off the window. Now that was stupid. Of course, I'm good at that. There we go. Better. All right, yeah. Oop. Work vehicles. And then you have these little ponds, like this one right here. And occasionally, right in the middle of it, you'll see a mountain of like a beaver mound or home or nest or whatever they call them. We've seen quite a few of those. What does number 4 Mark half mean? That sounds like a weapon system. Yeah, the wife and I are up in this car towards the front of the train. Like I said earlier, we're sharing it with the crew quarters are up here, and only a few of these little rooms are occupied. So we kind of got a car to ourselves because the staff live downstairs. There's only a couple other people up here, so it's real quiet. There's no foot traffic because this is the end of the line if anybody walks up here. So it's quiet up here. We're actually enjoying this. Hoping a train goes by because we got a second set of tracks. I'm hoping a train goes by in the other direction because it looks cool. I posted a couple videos from this last stop where they let us out for like 3 minutes. Havre, Montana, and they had an old steam engine sitting there that is physically larger than one of these double-decker passenger cars. And I've seen all the old movies with the steam trains. I didn't realize how big they were. If you go into my playlist, you'll see it. There's the wheels on the train are like 7 feet tall. It's shockingly large. There's a whole new set of tracks over there that just popped up. That's for this plant. Whatever these guys do. Columbia Grain. That's cool. It doesn't look like it, but we're going like 75 or 80 miles an hour right now. Every once in a while, I open up the Waze app and take a peek, and we're actually moving way faster than it appears. One thing about Amtrak, they even tell you that they run late on a regular basis, and they've already announced we're running behind with more cars. Anything? No. Yep. 150s and 160s, that old truck right there, parked off to the side. Okay, more cars coming up. Okay, that stuff. Oh, there's a 50s, 80s, an old 60s truck. Yeah, they have these clumps of vehicles sitting everywhere. This is crazy. Those things are valuable. Every once in a while, a train goes by going the other direction. There's no warning. It just appears, and you add these speeds, and it's a good 150 mile an hour pass. It goes by in a blur, and then it's gone. Yeah, this is the wife and I's first time on a train. I got to ride a train a little bit in Germany while playing Army back in the 80s, but we booked this cross-country trip from Chicago to Seattle. Got a sleeper, little brunette, giving it a whirl. They feed you 3 meals a day as part of the package, and it's pretty good food, actually. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a train going the other way to appear. It's actually quiet when it goes by. Ooh. If anybody's got a question or a comment, toss it out there. These trains are pretty smooth riding, but occasionally they get real bouncy. For no reason, you'll go into the slightest little turn, it'll start rocking back and forth. And you need to have your sea legs. Like that right there. Yeah, this guy up front's blowing his horn like crazy. I just can't figure out what for. There's nothing out here. We see a lot of old wooden houses that have collapsed on themselves. They're really small and they're out in the open fields, and I think they're bunkhouses for the cowboys back in the day, and eventually they just abandoned them and just let the snow crush them. They just kind of collapse on top of themselves. There's some more machinery. Oh, there's a 1960s truck right there in the front. In the background, there was something, a little car out of the 60s. There's an old Jeep. Comanche. What do we got here? That's an old tractor right there. Wow. 1950s truck. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm thinking the best part of this trip's going to be at night. The most beautiful part's probably going to be in the dark, which is going to blow. But tomorrow when we wake up, I'll get filmed as quick as I can. We're going to be in Washington State by then. Western Montana, about the middle of the state, going straight west right now. Little tiny settlements here and there, little structures, little commercial operations. And that's it for this area. We've seen deer. These little ponds have lots of ducks in them and whatnot. But we've seen quite a bit of deer on this run. Okay, let's see what old abandoned cars we have here. Tanker, right there. 1970s, 1950s, 1970s. If anybody's looking to restore a car, this is the place to come shopping for an old car. Well, that was the remainder of my camper shell. Two more 1950s trucks. 1960s. All right, I'm going to cut this off here. If we get closer to the mountains and we still have daylight, I'll bring it back up.